Hello and welcome to Healing Ceilings Artist Interviews, where we interview artists and inspire others to live life beautifully. Join us on this Healing Ceiling movement.
Hello and welcome. Today we're interviewing artist Elissa Parsons. Welcome, Elissa.
Thank you very much. So lovely to chat with you.
Well, I must say, when we first met was when Healing Ceilings was still quite a wild idea. We were talking about Healing Ceilings and then you said you'd like to be on board. I was over the moon excited. So what I'd love to do is I'd love everybody else also to get to know you a bit better. So if you wouldn't mind, could you explain what you do, why you do it, why you started doing it?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you so much. I'm so honored that you even, want to have a chat with me about the journey, and I love what you're doing with Healing Ceilings. I think it's just incredible. And I guess my journey was, I have no previous experience in art really at all. I did a bit at school, but I mostly sort of did things with glass, like not really even painting. And my main thing has been music and singing and teaching and things like that. I was a worship pastor for 10 years and on staff at a church for about 16 years before I really felt like my husband and I really felt that we needed a new season, something completely new, and we didn't even know what. We had zero idea of what it would actually be. And I, by chance, finished my last weekend was in March 2020, and then we had no idea that the following weekend all of our lockdowns would start to come in place in Victoria. So we found ourselves in the position of, well, we actually have really just jumped off the edge here and have no plan. And it's just really interesting that a couple of years beforehand, I think I was at home and I just had this very sudden urge to go and buy canvas and paint and just start painting, and just came out of the blue completely. I remember telling a coworker at my work and they kind of looked at me a bit funny, like, okay, you do that then. It's a bit weird. And just very randomly, like between work, sometimes on weekends, I would just paint, and honestly it would just be quite therapeutic for me. I really found just painting and just slowing my thinking down, slowing the pace down of everything was actually really therapeutic. So I just did that, and there were no plans at all of making a business or anything like that. Did a little bit more in 2019 and it ended up selling a few, but just thought it was like, sell to a few friends, like it's nothing more than that. And then once we hit 2020 and I have no job and I was applying for jobs and just nothing really fit or sat right for us. And my husband was the one who really encouraged me and said, Elissa, you need to do this. You need to make this a business. And
oh, that's amazing.
of course, I felt completely unqualified, unworthy, all of that to even do this, because I was like, who am I? I'm not even, my area is music. It's not art. I love it. I enjoy doing it, but I can't see myself doing it as a business. But I just took the leap and did it. And I'm so grateful because I think it's been very healing for me, and it's created this beautiful connections. That was very early in my journey that you contacted me, and so I'm so grateful for that. That you saw something in me and you believed in me, and so I was very honored that you would reach out to me, and I really connected with something about the heart of what you do as well.
It's so wonderful too when spouses or partners are just so supportive. So it's wonderful to hear that aspect of your journey too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been 100% the one that has backed me the entire way, even when I've thought of, I think I've probably thought of quitting, I don't know, 10, 15 times over the journey, and he's been like, no, it's fine, just keep going, you'll be fine, it's okay. So I'm very grateful for that.
And art is quite, it's obviously expressive, but you are vulnerable in your expression. So it's also wonderful to then have that protection of heart, like reaching out to the public and revealing your heart to everybody.
Exactly. It's a very vulnerable thing and exposing thing as well. And yeah, it's beautiful to have a safety net around you that can just reassure you and say it's okay, you know. And even when you know that, you know, okay, I'm still baby artist here. I'm still learning. We're always learning, but you know, to have someone just reassure you right from the very beginning throughout the journey.
And so Elissa, when it comes to healing ceilings, what made you decide to be on team, to be an artist for Healing Ceilings?
Yeah. Look, I really love the deeper purpose of beauty and color and form and texture, all of those things being part of that healing journey for somebody. I think about the way that color affects me, and you know, I love going to art galleries and just being immersed in an artwork and understanding the story behind the artwork and the artist behind the work and what was their story behind it and what does that mean for me. And I think I really think that healing is so much more than just sort of one dimensional. It's a much more, you know, multi-dimensional thing. And yeah, I just think that I'm really drawn to using what I have in me, the gifts, the whatever I have in me, to actually for a bigger purpose, and that's to help others and to bring light and love to other people. I think that is definitely part of that journey for people to get well.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when in those spaces, it can feel daunting, obviously, but sometimes a bit dark and scary and isolating. And I can't imagine with patients that have gone through the health journey during this COVID period, how isolated they would have felt in that time.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, just a bit of color, a bit of life, a bit of something that's not like, you know, white clinical walls. It's something that brings some humanity and some soul to people that are in that space that, you know, for me, I luckily have not been in that that space, or I've had to be in a hospital for a very long time. I know that you have, but I can only imagine how difficult that would be and how confronting and blank those walls would be, and to add some soul and heart and humanity to it, I think that can only be a good thing.
And it's such a big space for us to make an impact too, because even if we haven't been on the journey ourselves, we have family members or friends who have, and so no matter what, you're impacted by those spaces. So for us to be able to go in there and change the environment for a positive outcome for these people, I just think, oh, it's so exciting. So exciting.
It is so exciting. And I think it's just like anyone actually that I've talked to about it, or I've seen, like when I've posted it on my social media or just talked to friends, like honestly, one of the first things they talk to me is, oh, what, that thing that you do with the hospitals and the things, the ceiling tiles, that's amazing. Like so many people, just like that's one of the first things that they'll even say to me about art, and I'm so happy about that. Like they don't even they don't have to talk to me about my art. Like they're talking about something that connects with a greater group of people, and I think that is so fulfilling to hear that alone. So it's very cool.
Well, I am thrilled that you're on team with us. And for those that are watching this interview, that we've spoken about a thing called the Healing Ceiling movement, and the idea that we're trying to move people to live life beautifully. And obviously that's for people that are seeing our art, but just in general to take what is difficult in your life and to use that for something beautiful, to turn it around, to inspire others that actually there is hope and we can keep on hoping. I'm so thrilled that you are on team, because you bring that hope and that brightness with you, and I'm really grateful. So thank you. Where can they find you? What do they need to look up to find you?
Yeah, sure. So my website and my Instagram is under the words Grace Worth Courage, and they're three words that mean a lot to me and actually are tied into the work that I do and sort of the work that I'm growing in as a person as well. So I guess that's why I call it that. So my website's graceworthcourage.com, and my Instagram is @graceworthcourage. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Do you have any hot tips or suggestions for creatives that are either starting their journey or on the journey? It's something that has really been very valuable to you.
One thing that I have found personally quite helpful, it's more of a practical thing, is there's been times where I've done paintings and I've just not been happy with it, and I can't quite pinpoint it, and I just go, not good, and I'm just not happy with it. And I was advised to think about it like, well, have you pushed the painting far enough? And I think as I've kind of shifted my thinking on that, if you were to do a little excavation on some of my paintings, a little archaeological work, you might find like 3 or 4 paintings underneath it. And I actually feel like that's part of the amazing journey that it is too, that, it took that many iterations for me to get to a place where I pushed it gently, like it's not pushing like, like I hate myself pushing it. It's a pushing it like, hey, there's more potential here. There's more. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep going. And there's certain paintings where I've got to that 4th layer and I've gone, oh, okay, that's what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
That was the final layer. All of the layers underneath it were actually informing that final layer, and it all contributed to the color choice and the form and everything like that. And so, yeah, what I would say is, if you're not happy with something, don't let that discourage you too early in the process, but actually just think about, can I push it gently a little bit further? And when I say push, I really do mean just being kind to yourself in the process.
Thank you so much for that hot tip, Elissa. I'm sure many creatives would benefit from that. I look forward to interviewing again in the future.
Thank you so much. It's been just an absolute pleasure.
If you would like to hear more from us at Healing Ceilings, then head to our website, healingceilings.com.au, or our social media, which is Healing Ceilings Australia. You will find us there. LinkedIn, you can look for me, Claire Rackley, and I will direct you to wherever you'd like to go. But we want to make connections, so follow us, like us, tag our things. Let's continue this Healing Ceilings movement.